Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is another Epic Collection review and this is on Moon Knight, Shadows of the Moon. This is volume 2 of his Epic Collection series. Here's the back, ghosts, werewolves, and things that go crazy in the night. This is a very simple collection, especially compared to the last one. Just collecting Moon Knight issues 5 through 23. Throughout the 80s, yay, the 80s is my favorite time for comic books. So 1981 to 1982 cost $45. Here's the side of it, if you are wondering. It's actually pretty thick, but it was a good read. It was a fast read, so let's open it up first because there is a lot, or maybe not as much as the first one. I'm still surprised. That first video I talked for like half an hour almost. So this is a reprint. I'm pretty sure this is a reprint, right? So you can see how many they had at the time. Amazing Spider-Man Volume 26 they had out. So, there's the first page. Here's the creators. And here are the page numbers and the issues. Now, there seems to be two stories in about half the issues here. The other story is something having to do with either Mark Spector himself before he was Moon Knight, or the Khonshu statue before Mark Spector. I don't know if this continues after this, because issue 23 didn't have a second story. But anyway, this started off really good because this story right here, issue 5, is all about Moon Knight basically solving a Scooby-Doo-like ghost story. Some dead skeleton seems to have pulled a shotgun trigger. These guys are in there after a robbery, thinking there's money hidden there. Anyway, and it kind of ends on a depressing note. I still remember it. Anyway, Moon Knight issue 6. He goes to his pal. These guys are dressed up as skeletons. He stops them all. So there's a lot to talk about in every issue. And Moon Knight actually starts getting something of a rogues gallery here. The guy who basically turned Mark Spector into Moon Knight, Bushman, is back. This one villain who I really like, Morpheus, is in here. There's this group that holds the City Terror. It's a 2-issue storyline, and they poison the water. They make people who drink tap water go crazy for money, of course. And Moon Knight stops the whole plan. Yeah, this is where the cover of the Epic Collection comes from, right there. The Moon Knight action scenes, since I've read it enough, I think I can say they're actually not a lot of dialogue heavy. They're just a lot of fight, a lot of visual storytelling, and I actually really like that. This is the one where Bushman returns with Midnight. Yes, Midnight returns as well. At the last story in Volume 1, had Midnight maybe die, maybe did not. He did not die, of course, it's comics. And he returned, he teams up with Bushman and another guy who's like a crazy artist or something, who stole some art from Mark Spector's mansion, or Stephen Grant's mansion. Yeah, I wanted to say, there's not really a lot. I remember at the end of the Volume 1, he had a lot of times where he teamed up with the coffee waitress's kids. That only happens one time in this story, in one story, so same thing with the homeless guy. Anyway, this guy builds like a messed up art stadium beneath him, and Midnight and Bushman are also there. And they all team up against Moon Knight. They almost catch him in a trap, and I think they all get away. Like, here's this fight scene here. Oh, maybe he defeats them? Anyway, whatever. This one's actually, I'm surprised what a big deal this was. It starts off with Moon Knight stopping a drug deal, and his pilot, Frenchie, his ex-love from the past, is back, gives him a briefcase of like $20,000. She dies, but justice is served by Moon Knight and Frenchie. They had to go inside a carnival to find the guy. Moon Knight issue 12. This is the first appearance of Morpheus right here. I think this is just one issue. He has the power of dreams, but he can also control people in the real world through their dreams. I think he gets more powerful. Moon Knight also works with a detective who I think later blames Moon Knight for a crime he didn't commit on accident. There's Morpheus. Since he has the power of dreams, they keep him sedated heavy enough that he has to dream. He can't dream. I don't think he has any eyelids or something like that, even though he has eyelids in the picture right there. Whatever. Moon Knight issue 13. I remember this was on some Roger Stern Amazing Spectacular Spider-Man issues. The same pin. Moon Knight and Daredevil team up against the Daredevil villain Jester. It's a really fun story. Jester breaks out, or he doesn't break out, he just gets out of prison normally. Sorry about that, misspoke. This one apparently was a big story when it came out. Some lady wants revenge. I'll explain it when I go to the extras in the back here. Here's this cool detail. It basically talks about Moon Knight's powers. There's another part of this that happens later on I'll talk about. Look at this. The Thing makes an appearance. Moon Knight fights this guy called Blacksmith. It's actually a really good story about this kid. There's, like I said, each issue there's a lot to talk about. But this kid whose father is a police detective, he hates vigilantes, but his kid loves vigilantes and they argue about it. His dad dies. The kid tries to get justice on his own and gets sort of in the way of Moon Knight doing his job. A criminal organization that Moon Knight has been fighting for a while hires this guy called, what was his name? Lumberjack or something? No, that's a Superman villain. Blacksmith. Bleh. Anyway, Blacksmith is the sort of big buff rogue of the issue. The main guy was actually going to blow up all of New York or something like that, all of Manhattan, to rebuild it for money. Typical bad guy story. Anyway, this is where we get the first story in the back. It adds on more pages. Oh yeah, this epic collection is like exactly 500 pages. That's kind of cool. At least when it comes to actual reading content. This story is about Mark Spector going on a hunt for this thing. It basically confirms Medusa is a thing in the universe with her cut off head. Here we go. I love these covers right here. Moon Knight issue 17. This starts a 4-issue storyline with Moon Knight going up against some terrorists. This terrorist group, I forget what they're called, but they're basically just want to destroy every government in the entire world. There's this guy called the Master Sniper. He kills one of Moon Knight's oldest friends right in front of him. The guy who's the leader has chicks as his bodyguards, one of each dominant race or big deal race. Anyway, oh yeah, that's another story. Moon Knight basically gets screwed over trying to act like Indiana Jones here. Issue 18. So issue 17, Moon Knight encounters the Master Sniper. Issue 18, Moon Knight encounters 3 assassins hired by the guy. One has glass weapons that break, have like poison mists that come out of them. Some guy's a good sniper as well, but Moon Knight usually defeats him. Some guy's a strongman who just causes the strong guy to just leap off the roof on accident. This is the other thing I was talking about more Moon Knight stuff. This just describes his whole origin story up to this time. There's Daredevil and Moon Knight teaming up like in this epic collection. I like this cover because it's almost like a moment out of the Marvel official handbook, which in less than 2 weeks it comes out. I hope I will get it in the mail in 2 weeks, but we'll see. The leader gets a bunch of armor and calls himself Arsenal now. He gets, let me see if I can find a good picture. Moon Knight gets put in a trap, he escapes it. Marlene becomes one of the guy's, bodyguards, but she betrays him, obviously. Yeah, here's Arsenal. Some of the coloring's kind of weird on him. I wish his suit was red, not orange, but anyway. He accidentally kills himself. For some reason, Moon Knight starts saying, like, I shouldn't get emotional about this stuff. But, like, he gets emotional, what the heck, beforehand. Here we go, Moon Knight issue 21. Moon Knight teams up with the character, Brother Voodoo, and they go after some terrorists in Haiti. Moon Knight almost got tricked by the guy. To stop him, that's kind of a funny scene when he's like, no, I'm actually against you. Did your people not report their findings well? This is about this is one that was interesting about the Moon Knight statue, the god Khonshu. Almost like it has a presence itself. So some guy kills a cop, runs away from a robbery, goes into a university where they're talking about the moon god. He hides in the coffin, but the coffin gets stuck on the guy's sleeve or something like that. And he suffocates to death, and it's x-rayed, and they find the gun inside of it. Moon Knight issue 22 and 23. are the return of Morpheus. Basically, Morpheus gets even more powerful, and they stop him. And Marlene's brother was the guy. We learned this in Morpheus's first appearance, but Marlene's brother was the guy who was doing a psychiatric help on Morpheus, but didn't work out. And he actually dies because he gets mind controlled by Morpheus to fight his sister Marlene. Moon Knight, this is the dream, what it looks like when Moon Knight's dreaming. When I was a kid, I thought this art was super dark and super mature, but I really like it now. And that's how it ends, with her brother dead, and they have captured Morpheus one more time. They apparently have gotten rid of his powers. Anyway, she wants revenge. She wants her to have it, but can he turn his back on cold-blooded murder? Next issue, Scarlet and Moon Knight, on sale June 29th. There's that Moon Knight issue I wanted to describe to you guys. So yeah, there's a lot of more concept art. That's really it for this epic collection. Oh, look at that. Letter page art. Did they have the letter pages in the Omnis? I don't know. Black and white stuff. I don't really care about the black and white stuff. And then some of the other epic collections that they had at the time this came out. So, number 1, definitely better than Volume 1. I liked it more than Volume 1, even though I'm not talking that much about it. How did they talk half an hour on that one epic collection? I also think they kind of more solidified his supporting cast and just who we're going to see every issue, what they're going to do. I mean, yeah, because the last epic collection only had the first 4 issues of Moon Knight's solo series. And I think they mention his origin like one time in this book, just how he used to work for the committee. Which I haven't even read I haven't even read Werewolf by Night outside of those 2 issues, so I don't really know if that's a big deal. The committee. My favorite stuff was the Morpheus stuff, but the also 2-issue storyline with 3 of his bad guys coming together and teaming up, that was awesome. I did not expect that to ever happen with Moon Knight. Even, it would be more surprising actually if it happened to the Punisher, because Punisher kills his enemies. So all the single issue stories and events Moon Knight is caught up in definitely are make me it's why he's called DC's Batman, one of the many reasons. And I had no idea that Daredevil was in an issue of Moon Knight, of a team up like this. I wonder if it's ever collected in if this issue is collected in the Daredevil epics, because there is an ad I saw for this. I think it might be in this epic collection. I don't know if I showed you guys it, but anyway, like the promotion for this issue coming out. Yep. Oh look, Spider-Man. This issue about her past. Her past is like 4 pages described. Moon Knight takes a bullet, she kills her own son or something like that. Anyway. Killing the world from his basement. What is that about? Yeah, we don't see a lot of Moon Knight's other identities, actually. We see him as Stephen Grant, but not as or Mark Spector. We don't see him as the millionaire Stephen Grant or the cab guy Jake Lockley. Like, I can't even remember how many, if that happened, outside of like this is probably the most Jake Lockley in the whole epic collection, which I like. I don't really... There is a moment, I think it's during when the 3 villains team up. Oh, this guy's crazy, dresses up as a rat to kill government people or something, whatever. I want to show you guys the Thing appearing, because it's actually really well written. Thing is on a date with Alicia Masters, and he gets mad as normal. He actually doesn't help fight anyone. He's just there because Moon Knight calls him for help about finding the kid, or the kid wants the Thing to help contact Moon Knight, the detective's kid, a detective who died by falling on the train tracks. Subway tracks, I guess we should call him that. Oh no, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else about the stories in here. Oh, nope, here we are. So, what issue is this? It's where they talk about how maybe Mark Spector shouldn't have so many identities, because he breaks out a death trap from his 3 villains, and he goes into like a month-long only Moon Knight, sort of like Peter Parker no more, except it's Mark Spector no more, and he's just Moon Knight for like, I think it might be 5 days straight, no eating or anything, and he finally comes to become more of a normal superhero at the end of it. I really like that. I was surprised that they did that in the story, actually. and the statue gets destroyed in this story, the Khonshu statue, or was it fake, or was it the real one? That's kind of what they leave you off. His glider ship, his old one, gets destroyed during the city poisoned water chaos. Yeah, that's about all I can say right now. Because when this is my first time reading it, I can't exactly go back and have great memories or tell you guys, hey, this stuff surprised me, because, more than the other stuff, because it always surprised me. I've read it the first time. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed and have a good day.